Faith Time is our regular conversation on matters of faith, and joining us is Micah Gaston with Three Circle Church. Good day to you, sir.
Good day to you.
All right, we wanted to talk about something that I think every parent is wrestling with, the issue of how much screen time is helping or hurting our kids. You have a phrase that you use called digital identity theft in the lives of children. So let's break that down. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, so and I agree. I think we're all working through that and learning our way, navigating that course, right? And so to me, it's the importance of children being able to form an identity. Who are they?
Yeah.
Who are they called to be? What are their talents? What are their giftings? What's their place in this world? What's their relationship with God? All those are bigger questions, and all of us are searching for answers to those questions that define us.
Yeah.
And the digital world out there, although it can be an enhancement to our lives, the theft part comes into play whenever it keeps us from those things that really matter: meaningful relationships with God, with other people, fulfilling our calling, to where sometimes kids in particular can get tied up online in a whole world of activities and engagements that don't really shape those things. It doesn't really help us step into the purpose and meaning and depth of relationship that can happen whenever that becomes the centerpiece for our identity and our relationships and our purpose, rather than just an accentuation to what all we are in the real world. And that's a very dangerous thing. And there's a lot of negative effects that come along with too much screen time as well, not to even mention that misplaced identity or focus.
All right, so let's talk about the digital world itself. Why has it become such a powerful place for kids to look for identity, approval, belonging?
Yeah. Well, I think first of all is accessibility, right? It's the fact that you can access things online anywhere and everywhere, right? And I think also there are ways in which it gives you an instant thrill, an instant engagement, instant success.
Right, the dopamine hit. Yeah,
the dopamine hit that you get where your brain tells you about what success and what affirmation looks like. And so there's that part of it. But I think also it's the day and age we live in, and just the rate at which life moves, we almost replace what used to be human interaction and human stories and human involvement with our interactions online. And sometimes we often can even exchange what could be happening meaningfully in relationships for online. Like it's the whole, you go out to eat and everybody at the tables on their phones instead of the people that matter in our lives are right across from us. So I think if we're not careful, we can be very, very broad with having all these ways we're connected as a culture, and yet the relationships that matter can be very shallow or superficial, or we're not engaging the deep matters that matter because we're always involved and we're everywhere all the time instead of being right where we are.
In your terms, what are the big three questions that every child is asking in the formation of their identity?
Yeah, absolutely. So every person is asking, who am I? Like, who am I? Who did God make me to be? Who am I supposed to be? Those are all questions of, and do I matter? Like, all those questions are things we're asking. Like, am I valuable? How do we define those things? And obviously, as a pastor, I want people to hear things like they're made in the image of God. God says things about every human being, about them being priceless and being unique and being gifted and being put here for a purpose and on purpose. And so having ideas spoken to them about their great value and worth is sometimes, unfortunately, the many voices that are out there won't give that affirmation that every person needs to know that they matter to God and matter to other people. So who am I? But also, why am I here? Like, what are the unique talents and gifts and setting in history God's placed me in that He wants to use me in a unique way that has my name on it? And being able to have that formation happen, yes, online voices can be a part of it, but people that love you and care about you to affirm, man, Micah, you're really good at that. You know, when you do that, like, it puts a smile on people's faces. When you do that, you really could make a unique difference in the world. People want to grab hold of that. And just having community, you know, there's not anything evil about a digital identity, but it needs to be a second tier to our identity of who we are, to our family, to our friends, to even our faith family, like people that are able to encourage us, love us, serve us and us reciprocate those things. Those meaningful relationships can only be accentuated by a digital interaction. They can never replace those. God made us in a way in which we're relational. We need that. We need to be able to have meaningful conversations and connect with people in a way in which we receive real love, real encouragement, sometimes real challenge. People that love us will say, hey, here's something you're really good at, but it's going to take hard work for you to be all that God wants you to be in this. And those things are irreplaceable. And so we can't think that digital relationships can ever replace deep, meaningful, intimate relationships.
You bring up a great point there. How do we make sure that our digital relationships or our digital lives are augmenting our real life instead of replacing it?
That's a very good question. I think we have to be honest with ourselves and be able to evaluate how much time we actually spend in the digital world. If we're not careful, I think in today's age, we can spend our life dancing between screens in this life.
Yeah.
You know, in between, you know, what we watch on TV and social media and all the things that are out there, games and those different things. And none of those things are evil, but I think at the end of our lives, we're not going to say, I spent 90% of my life doing those things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so we have to ask, like, how much screen time am I spending, or my kids spending? Are we going to have time where we say, you know what, we're going to have time away from phones. We're going to sit around and engage in a meaningful conversation, have fun together, and phones are not allowed.
Yeah.
And so I think, you know, I've encouraged families that are part of our church and people to have digital office hours, you know, because today our office goes with us. And so at what point, I understand if there's your own call, things like that, there are ways we can't, that we have to be available. But frankly, sometimes we make ourselves available, we don't have to be. And we make that a priority where our family can have priority because this does. And so I think being able to model that for our kids, have times we step away to where we're saying, hey, today is about, or this moment is about, this hour is about, and start to put those parameters in place to be able to say, hey, I'm not going to be multitasking. I'm going to watch my kid's ball game.
Yeah.
And when he gets up to bat, he sees I'm watching him, right?
Yes.
And I'm here for him. And saying, you know, around the dinner table, we say, hey, how was school today? And we have those meaningful conversations, even as followers of Jesus, like having times that we spend time, like where we have a devotion together, where we pray together, and where we're touching base with our kids to check in with them and have meaningful interactions with them, and to where we're valuing that time and showing them and modeling that we value that time. And so I think we have to prioritize and have to say, where are we going to make those special places to have connection, to be intentional. And also, you know, serving with our kids, you're making time to let them see, like, being on mission and using our gifts to serve the community and do things to make an impact in the world, and say, hey, likes are great online.
Yes.
Going and serving somewhere makes an even deeper impact. And really, at the end of the day, you're going to meet real people, make a real difference, and that's important.
I like the idea that you're setting up parameters and you're setting up guidelines here. But what are some warning signs that your child's online life may be carrying too much emotional or spiritual weight?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the first thing we can see, particularly in younger children, and even the mental side of that, psychological side to it, is an adverse or serious reaction, emotional reaction. Whenever you begin to take away devices, that can be indications of addiction, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the number one warning sign. I think particularly there's a lot of data out there for preteens and teenagers of additional anxiety and worry and fear in result to acceptance and how are they viewed online and what's happening online. And so that's something we really need to watch in those formative years of their determining, you know, am I beautiful? Am I valuable? Am I meaningful? All those sort of things that we're able to say to them, hey, no matter what happens online, I want to say to you, God says about you. And so that anxiety is a big thing. Like her kids constantly obsessing with having to be online and what is happening in regards to what people are saying about them online, liking, not liking, interacting with, how many followers they have, and that being something they carry with them as to who am I? When really that doesn't say everything about you.
No.
Right? There's so much more to you than that. And so watching how much weight they're putting in that is a really big metric of where they are.
You make distinctions between what you call digital wins and real life impact. What's the difference in your mind, and why is that important?
Well, I think it's similar to what I said earlier in the sense that I think that digital wins can accentuate actual wins.
Yes.
So like, hey, we could post and say, hey, we're having a great time today, serve with our church, like meeting needs in the community. We're picking up trash, and we're going to serve in the soup kitchen this day, or we're serving this day at a back to school event. You know, those sort of things, you can post about those things, but that's different than saying, hey, I think we should serve families in the community that are in need, right? That's just something online, and that's easy to do.
That's not really
but no impact happen, right?
You're just making a call to action with no substance behind
Exactly.
it.
So call to action's easy. Being the action's different. So I think, modeling that for our kids and letting them do that with us, say, hey, this is not something just we talk about, and tell people, hey, we all ought to do that. We're going to do that, right? Come do this with us. So I think those actual wins can include a digital celebration, but it's us carrying through with the action, right?
So how can parents help their children discover real calling and real purpose beyond their digital lives?
Absolutely. Well, I think being able to say to them, hey, it's great to be good at this game. Like, it's great to have some interaction on social media, but let's go out and do things you're good at. It's encouraging children to step into their gifting, letting them be able to go out there and finding ways for them to serve, find ways to write or to use artistic ability or to use the giftings that they've given, and saying, hey, you can find a way to celebrate the wins online again, but let's go out there and do it. And I say to my son, all the time, and I try to apply the same advice to my life. If the grid dies tomorrow, right, and we have no online things, no TV, none of those things, what kind of person am I? What kind of relationships do I have? What kind of type of indelible impact am I making by loving God and loving others? That if all those things are gone, I never have any followers or likes again, I can't watch my favorite TV show, like, who am I? What kind of person am I? And I think that to me is a very deep question that allows us to say, how can I celebrate the person I'm becoming and the things I'm doing and the things I'm celebrating about God online, but yet all those things are happening in real life and real relationships and real investments, to where if all that stuff goes away tomorrow, this is the investment I made. This is the impact I've made. This is the person that I've been forming and taking one step at a time, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. And that happens with screens or without. Yeah.
Wow, great advice. Micah Gaston with Three Circle Church. We thank you for joining us for this edition of Faith Time.